Alright, so looking at our second flip video of the year. This one's going to be over lesson 1-3. And this one we're going to talk about solving equations. That's kind of what we'll get into tomorrow. Today, I just kind of want to talk about what an algebraic expression is, what a verbal expression is, and then some properties of equality. Okay, so basically what we're going to use to solve problems. We've seen them before, but I just want to go over them now. We don't have to go over them tomorrow in class. We can just kind of hop into doing some problems. Again, that's what these flip videos are supposed to do for us. Give us an introduction into what we're going to be learning the next day. So, in Algebra 1, we learned about algebraic expressions. Okay, what is an algebraic expression? An algebraic expression is just a problem. All right, it's a problem with variables. Variables, remember, are letters. Okay? We have a couple different kinds of algebraic expressions. The first one's called an open sentence. Okay? An open sentence. Open sentence means we don't have an equal sign. Okay? It simply means it's just an expression, only variables, not equal to anything. So 3x plus 2. That's an open sentence. Okay, the other kind of verbal expression that we have that we actually deal with more, we're familiar with, it's called an equation. Okay, an equation has an equal sign. Okay, and an equation we can solve. We can get a solution to an equation. Alright, in this case, 3x plus 2, that's an equation if it's set equal to 10. Okay, when it wasn't, it was just an open sentence. When it is set equal to 10, now we have an equation. Okay, so that's an algebraic expression. It has our letters, our variables, and some numbers along with it. Now a verbal expression. Okay, a verbal expression is just the word representation of an algebraic expression. Okay, again, the word representation of an algebraic expression. So, we have an algebraic expression, we have a verbal expression. Algebraic with our numbers and letters. Verbal is with our words. Okay, it would be a written out expression. So if I'm looking at our equation here, it's 3x plus 2 equals 10. If I was to write that as a verbal expression, it would say something like 2 more than 3 times the number is 10. Okay, again, 2 more than 3 times a number is 10. Okay, these two coincide with each other. My algebraic expression and my verbal expression, both are the same thing. Now again, there's not just one way to write a verbal expression. This is just one of them. 2 more than 3 times a number is 10. Okay, you can say 3 times a number plus 2 equals 10. Lots of ways to say it. Okay, so that's our verbal expression, our algebraic expression. We also want to look at the properties of equality. Okay, some of these first 4, namely, you should remember from geometry. Okay, we're going to go over them again anyway, so we can just jump into it tomorrow. First of all, reflexive. Okay, the reflexive property of equality is just the fact that we have the exact same thing on both sides of the equal sign. Exact same thing, not switched at all. So reflexive would be A equals A. Exact same thing on both sides of our equal sign. Symmetric. Remember, in geometry, symmetric is what let us switch what was on the two sides of the equal sign, maybe at the end of a proof. So symmetric says that A equals B, so we can also say that B equals A. We can switch them. Okay, transitive, that had the middle guy. Okay, transitive said that if A equals B and B equals C, then we can drop that middle guy and say that A equals C. That's transitive property of equality. Okay, and substitution is when two things are equal, we can plug that in to another equation. So for substitution, we can say something like if A equals B and we have the equation A plus C equals D, we can rewrite that as B plus C equals D. Again, because we just substituted B in for A. They're equal, they're the same. Substitution. So again, these four we should remember from geometry. Alright? These last two, the addition slash subtraction property of equality, multiplication slash division property of equality. These are basically how we solve our algebraic problems. How we move things from one side of an equation to the other in order to get an answer. And that's where these two come in. So, on addition and subtraction, if we say that A equals B, then we can say that A plus C equals B plus C. And the same thing with subtraction. They can be subtraction instead of addition. Again, an example of this is if I have x plus 2 equals 5. I can subtract the same thing from both sides in order to solve the problem. It'll still stay equal, or stay balanced. X equals 3. That's using our addition or subtraction property of equality. The same thing with multiplication and division. Again, if I say that A equals B, I can say that A divided by C is the same thing as B divided by C. They'll still stay equal if we do the same thing to both sides. Okay, so again, summing up our second flipped video, lesson 1.3. We have algebraic expressions. It can be an open sentence or an equation. Open sentence does not have an equal sign. Equation does. Verbal expression is just the word representation of an algebraic expression. Just writing it out in words. We have our properties of equality. These first four, ones we got in geometry and algebra 1. Okay, reflexive, same thing on both sides. Symmetric, that's to switch what's on each side of the equal sign. Transitive has that middle guy. If two things are equal to the same thing, we can drop that middle guy out. Substitution. If two things are equal, we can plug either one of them in any situation. And then addition slash subtraction, multiplication slash division, that's just how we solve our equations. It's how we move things from side to side in order to isolate a variable or a number. So, make sure you guys do your whisk. See you tomorrow.